So let's talk about Clenbuterol. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it and if you should even use it. Now, I have used it in the past. Let me give you my little history on Clenbuterol. Now, the first time I took Clenbuterol, obviously, it was for the same reason everybody else wants to take Clenbuterol, for fat loss. Now, I've always been a very naturally skinny guy all my life. So it wasn't something that I needed, but I thought, what the hell, why not? If it's a shortcut, if it makes it quicker, if it makes it easier, why not? Let's do it. Because back in those days, everything's a little bit skewed when it comes to training. You just want the quickest, fastest option. You think at the time before you take steroids, like everybody else, it's a quick, easy, it's a quick fix. Let's just say that. But later on in life, you come to realize that it's a massive deep cut, and all you're doing with that deep cut is putting a plaster on it. And for you Americans out there, a band-aid. You need that cut stitched up. Anyway, enough of the analogies. So, Clenbuterol. Should you be taking it? So for me, when I took it back in the days, the first guy that I got Clenbuterol off was, I didn't have a clue about Clenbuterol. All I knew was it was a fat burner. And back in those days, I say back in those days, this is going back like, it's before I took steroids. Before I even took steroids, it was Clenbuterol. I know now I'm dead against it. But at the time, it was a safer option. You get Clenbuterol and it was in a bottle. It was a little bottle and it had like a plunger. You know what you get like underground steroid, underground testing nowadays, or underground steroids. Very similar to that. So I got the bottle. It was full of liquid, and with it I was provided a insulin syringe. Now I didn't know this was just a generic insulin syringe which you can nowadays get from any pharmacy. At the time I thought this is a thing that comes together and this is like some special potion. So the guy said, take some out. Don't overdo it because it's very dangerous. You take 0.1 out the first day, then 0.2 out, then 0.3, and you slowly load it, and you drop it on your tongue, and you go to the gym, and you're going to have this crazy workout, and you're going to burn loads of fat. So I tried it for about a week, and it was very strong. Even from day one, when I took it, I was like, okay, this is a little bit strange. My hands were, a little bit shaking like this. My chest, it was popping out. The heart was popping out my chest, and I thought, this ain't the thing for me. Went straight off it. I then tried ECA stack, which is ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, but we'll discuss that in another video. Let's just talk about Clenbuterol. Now come full swing, time for competition a few years later. I was a lot older, probably 10 years later. I'd always been fairly lean, so I never needed Clenbuterol. Came to do a bodybuilding show, and someone was like, try Clenbuterol. I was like, you know what? I've heard of that before. Let me try it. So now, it was in tablet form. Now, the tablet that I got it in was 20 mcg. I don't know what that stands for. We know milligrams. I don't know what the C stands for, but I think, and I must say this with a lot of confidence, it's like point of a milligram. So it's like, milligram is like high, this is like the point of a milligram. So it's less than 1 milligram. That's why I think they put mcg. I might be wrong, but anyway, that's what I think. 20 milligram. Clen, take it for a week. After a week, your body gets used to it. We hear that very, very often when it comes to steroids. And it's not really a steroid, but it's still categorized as a steroid. To at least the underground labs anyway. To us guys, we still call it a steroid. It's a performance enhancement drug. Anything that enhances your performance is a steroid. Let me get that thing out the way first, yeah? Anything, it can be creatine, it can be glutamine, BCAAs, whatever. If it enhances your performance, in my eyes, you're not natty. So for those of the guys out there taking creatine and glutamine and BCAAs and EEAs and pre-workouts and all the other garbage out there over the counter and they call themselves natties, you ain't natty, bro. Call a spade a spade. You aren't taking steroids. Yes, these things aren't steroids. They're not classed as steroids, but you're not natural. Remember the difference, guys. You're not taking steroids, but neither are you natural. You're still taking some sort of performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs. So where was I? Clenbuterol. 20 milligram a day. Second week. Body gets used to it, you're told. Take 40. Third week. Take 60. Now, I have known people to go as high as taking 140 mcg per day of Clenbuterol, which is, if you're using those tablets that I got hold of, 7 tablets a day. Now, if I think about that now, I mean, I never did that. I'll tell you exactly what I did, but that's the doses what people were doing. I never did that. It's insane now when someone tells me they were doing that much Clenbuterol. And I just think, wow, I know what it was like at 40. Imagine what it'd be like at 140. That's insane. So let me tell you my experience with 40. Took 20, and bear in mind I was on at the time Test and Amphate, I was on Mastron, and I believe I was taking Proviron, and with orals at the time I was doing Winstrol. So quite a toxic stack, in my opinion anyway. Took 20 milligram Proviron. Day 4 came around. I was doing, it was back and bicep day, doing back and biceps. Did biceps, got in the shower. After I had my food, so I had enough food, there was plenty of salt in the food, everything was normal. I did feel my heart rate was pounding throughout the day, so it was like literally, I mean, I didn't have a Apple Watch those days, but I'm sure if I was on one of those monitors throughout the day, my heart rate would have been elevated. Throughout the day, regardless of activity, just throughout the day, constant elevation of heart rate. 20 milligram, day 4, day 5, and all of a sudden, I can feel my biceps cramp whilst I was in the shower. So I trained back and biceps that day, had some food, had a protein shake, had a shower. And I'm like this, and I'm like, oh, cramp over here. I'll use this arm. Got the soap, oh, cramp over here. I'm literally like stood there, almost paralyzed. I can't use my arms, I can't finish the shower. So it was very difficult for me to finish the shower. I rinsed myself off. I got out, I sat down, I tried stretching it out. It was the worst cramp possible. Now, I know people would argue and say, well, okay, there's things we can take now to reduce cramping. And of course there is. Of course there's plenty of things, electrolytes and all sorts of stuff we can take to reduce cramping. And could you cramp anyway? Absolutely. You can be dehydrated and you can cramp. You can have a very good session where you're sweating a lot and you can cramp. There's many reasons why cramps can happen. I'm not saying they can't happen. But that was Clenbuterol induced. Now the cramps on Clenbuterol are very, very severe. And when you have a cramp over here, you know what that is. You know what that is. You do not want your heart to cramp because of if the heart cramps, well, you know what to call it. It's very, very dangerous. I don't give a shit how it works. If you follow me for science advice, turn this off. I don't give a shit about what it says and is it antihistamine and is it used to this and is it used. I don't care about that bollocks. All I know is I took it, it almost killed me. My heart was pounding out my chest every day. I stopped it after that. Everyone I speak to who's taking Clenbuterol, exactly the same symptoms. It's not just me. In fact, you can Google the symptoms of Clenbuterol and that'll come up. Which tells you what? It's absolute bullshit. And then you hear this thing about, oh, add more. Increase more, your body gets used to it. Or, Faddy, you took too much too once. No, I didn't. I only took the 20 milligram. Now, could I have snapped those in half and taken 10 milligram? Possibly. I probably could have. Did I at the time? No, I didn't. I just took what I thought was a minimal dose. Your body gets used to it, they say. 20 milligram, 40 milligram, 60 milligram. Keep building it up, and the more you're taking, the more you're going to burn fat. Now, let me just talk again just about personal experience burning fat. In fact, what I'm going to do is on the screen over here or here, I'm going to put my old pictures up on what condition I can achieve for competition. I'm also going to put pictures up over here on what condition I can achieve when I'm just walking around on 125 milligram of test a week. No competition. You'll see it on the screen right now. No competition. If I wanted to get competition ready, I would take a few more substances. I'd bang in some Primo. I'm already on Proviron. I'd bang in some Primo. I'd bang in some Mastron. I'd take some Anavar, take some Winstrol. All these things are a lot safer than Clenbuterol. One of the reasons why I would never take Clenbuterol, if I was getting ready for a bodybuilding show, one, it causes you cramps. And guess what else it does, which many people out there don't know. And if you're a bodybuilder out there, here's a lesson for you guys. When you try to carb up on Clenbuterol, you can't. Now, don't ask me why. I don't give a shit why. But you cannot. Simple. It's fact. Take Clenbuterol up to the show, right up into the show. Try carbing up. Let's see what happens. It messes with your body. So why work so hard to get the fat off, and then the last week you mess it up because you wanted to look a little bit extra leaner because you took Clenbuterol? It's absolute garbage for bodybuilders as well. Now, having said all that, of course this is advice. And of course, I know the best way to take it. If you want to take it. Don't advise you to take it. I've just spent 10 minutes almost explaining to you why you should never take it. But as with everything out there, people are going to want to take something. Here's my advice to take Clenbuterol. 20 milligrams every single day for as long as you want. Do not front load this. Do not increase the load every week, every day, every 10 days. None of that bullshit works. Maybe if you can get 10 milligram tablets, 10 mcg tablets, take that, start with that, and stay with that. The one thing you do not want to do with Clenbuterol is go up and down. Well, they can definitely come down, don't go up. It's very, very dangerous thing out there. I would categorize that, Clenbuterol, if you were to put things in like a hierarchy of danger. And at the top, you'd probably put oxymethylone, Deca, halotestin, and all these kind of drugs. Trenbolone are right at the top of all them. But right on the top of Trenbolone, I would put Clenbuterol. And guess what? How readily available, this is the sad thing about it, and this is how much lack of knowledge there is out there, that Clenbuterol is given to people before they know anything about steroids. Talking from experience. Clenbuterol is given to people that just want to burn fat. Think about that. I'm going to take something to burn something. Doesn't really make sense, does it? You want to burn fat? Walk more. Get active. Eat less. Very, very simple. Hopefully you got some value from this. Comment down below. Like and please subscribe.